So you want to build a multi-million-dollar construction business? Well, I'm here to show you the ropes. There's lots of money to be made in the construction world. There's so much money. There's millions. I've made millions of dollars, tens of millions in the construction business. And I want to show you my secrets. And I want to give you kind of a path. This is the video to show you how to build a multi-million-dollar construction company. So keep watching. So I've built my construction company past the 8-figure mark and now runs by itself on autopilot. I have a CEO running it. It's a fantastic feeling. I'm also now coaching contractors all across the globe to build better construction businesses. And I've also seen a lot of other construction companies that people that I don't coach and stuff like that fall flat on their face. I've seen a lot of people fail at this business. This is a tough sport. My friend, I'm telling you that this construction thing, it's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. It is a very tough sport. And only the people that really do it right and really nail a few key points that I'm going to talk about here actually are successful in the long term. I've seen time and time again where people just stay at this mediocre level where they just can't scale past themselves, right? They can't scale past maybe $1 million or they can't break through $5 million, right? Some can't break through $10 million. My company is on its way to $100 million. And so we haven't, at this point in 2024, we haven't scaled past the $100 million mark. So, but you know, if you're trying to build a multi-million-dollar construction company, if you're trying to get into that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and $10 million construction company, then this video is for you. Let's dive in. The first thing that you need to understand is, any guesses? Go ahead, leave your guesses in the comments. Is you need to understand construction. If you don't actually understand construction, then you can't own a construction company because you need to understand your product, bro. You need to understand exactly what goes into producing your projects, right? Your subcontractors and your staff will respect you if you prove that you actually understand how wide and how thick a 2x4. What cylindrical duct versus ductboard and flex, what's the difference there, right? What happens from the transformer and electrical into the panel, into the branch circuits, into the outlet? Like you want to know where the meter box is. Like you really do have to be able to talk to your plumber, right? That, you know, this is rough plumbing and you need to know that termite spray happens for your concrete guy. And, you know, just stuff about construction. Now, don't get me wrong. As you scale past the multi-million-dollar point, your job actually knowing all the little details of what's happening in your business is actually not going to be a thing, okay? Because you're going to have a C-suite and you're just going to jump on weekly meetings like I do at this point and just manage your C-suite that are running your whole business. But don't get me wrong. Those people need to know construction. My COO lives, breathes. He was born, he was raised, he was an adolescent, he was a teenager, a 20, a 30, a 40, a 50, a 60-year-old, all the way in construction. And he even had his own business for 10 years, being a contractor. So the person that's running and operating, right? COO stands for Chief Operating Officer. So the person operating your construction company really has to know construction. But you, my friend, I am assuming that you might not have a C-suite of your own. Maybe you do. That's awesome. But if you're going to be the one running your construction company, you need to understand the details of construction. Okay, the next pitfall that I see all the time is not bringing in enough leads. It's someone who's stuck on the tools and they don't know how to market their business. You need to learn how to do business development. You need to learn how to do marketing and sales and talk to people and go to networking events. And you need to have the bandwidth and the capacity and the brain space to do all these things, because if you're on the tools working in your business, and eventually, what I mean by on the tools, you could be on the tools, literally on the tools, or you could be on the tools estimating, or you could be on the tools project managing, right? You could be on the tools checking on your job sites as a superintendent. You don't want to be on the tools at all. You want to hire eventually to get to the multi-million-dollar point. You need to hire people in those roles. And if you absolutely suck at marketing and sales, you're going to have a little bit of a harder time as a business owner. But at least maybe you need to hire someone to do marketing and sales for you. That's worst case scenario. But without the proper lead flow, you're not going to be able to make sales because you're not going to have enough leads to convert to sales. Your main focus, bro, is going to be marketing and sales and creating systems for the rest of the departments of your construction business. The next pitfall is not charging enough. You can't run a construction business on 5% margins. You just can't charge just 10% Unless you're doing $50 million jobs, then yeah, charge 4% or whatever. But if you're doing, $100,000, $1 million, $800,000, 1.5, bro, you can't charge 5%. You need to be able to cover your overhead, okay? You need to be able to make a strong net profit to where you can go and invest back into your business, like I've talked about in other videos of mine. So estimate your projects properly to have a healthy margin, and it's going to be scaled on the size of project, the dollar value. As that goes up, your margin's going to go down. If you have a smaller project, say like, under 100,000, you need to charge a pretty fat margin to make the actual dollars make sense of your business. The next pitfall in your construction business is underestimating overhead. You need to understand what your overhead actually costs you. You may hear some people say you got to know what your nut costs you so you can crack your nut, every year, and then past that point, maybe at the 8-month mark or the 7-month mark or the 6-month or the 9-month or 10-month mark in the year that you've broken even, then everything after that at this point, all that gross profit actually turns into net profit because your overhead's paid. Anyway, I don't want to confuse you, but you just need to know what your overhead expenses are. Obviously, overhead is anything that is an expense that doesn't relate to a project, right? Any expense for your softwares, for your office supplies, for anything not job related is overhead. And you need to know what that costs you each month. Then you need to do a calculation and know what that percentage is of your total sales or even your projected total sales. And then you need to go and charge that percentage, whether it's 5% or 8% or 7% or 4% or whatever the percentage is, you need to charge that percentage on top of your profit in your bids. So a job is 100 grand, 7% of that is overhead. And then you have another percentage for your profit, right? And you determine your profit. And maybe you have a little bit of profit in your divisions, but we'll talk about that in our video. The next big pitfall, and let me tell you, bro, like this is a big one. And I've said it, but not getting off the tools. Gotta act as the CEO. You can't be a CEO and be on the tools at the same time. It will not work. Get off the tools if you want to grow a successful construction company. Period. You may have this stigma in your mind, like, oh, I'm going to lead by example, right? Like, I'm going to work harder than anyone and I'm going to show them, I'm going to show up, I'm going to strap my tool belt on and we're going to build this deck, we're going to build this addition, we're going to do whatever. Bro, that's not the way to do it, man. You need to be leading by example by giving your guys clear-cut processes and written systems and scorecards and checklists and SOPs and the templates that they need to do their job the right way, right? And you need to have all the Home Depot stuff set up. You need to have all the accounting stuff set up. You need to have your books in order. You need to be making sales. You need to be marketing, right? You get it. But just get off the tools and watch what happens to your business if you can actually use your time wisely, because now it's like, well, what do we do with my time? By the way, if you're liking this video so far, go ahead and click the thumbs up or thumbs down. Just go click one of those. Hopefully it's the thumbs up, But hey, if you didn't like it, click the thumbs down. Well, it's up to you. So the next part of this, we're past the pitfalls at this point, is marketing, because it really is the most important thing. But how do you do it? Here's some tips. You got to get on social media, right? Show yourself. People do business with people. Don't just take pictures of all your drywall. People want to know the person behind the drywall. Hey, the reason we're installing the drywall this way is because X, Y, and Z. Hey, here is a client story of them hiring my construction company. And this is, we built them a beautiful addition, or we built them a beautiful coffee shop or pizza shop, or for whatever commercial build out you're doing, or a ground up medical imaging center or whatever, like stuff like I do. I go and I sit those people down and I'm like, yo, tell me your life story. I want you to cry. I'm just kidding. Sometimes they do though. Like we just had a client cry. We built them a Jets Pizza. He's like, Josh, the superintendent, he was amazing. He came through for me and this and that. It was amazing. And people connect with that. They're like, whoa, this isn't just a construction company. This is actually like a movement. This is actually something really cool, So you can really start setting yourself apart, but you got to get yourself out there. If you're just on site, running around like a monkey or like a chicken with his head cut off, or a monkey with his head cut off, I don't know how far the monkey would get, but that's the point, bro. Don't get your head cut off. Your head cut off is when you use power saws. You know what I'm saying? That's actually what happens, bro. Sawzalls cut your own head off, because you got to get out there and market. You're cutting your head off and you're not out there marketing. You're not out there selling. And so that's the exciting thing about growing a business, is it'll start running without you, bro. Anyway, but that's later. You want to have a great website that promotes exactly what you do. If you do residential, have it say residential. If you do commercials, have it say commercial stuff. If you do industrial, have it say industrial. You also want to invest in some SEO to get your website ranked, right? You want to set up your Google business listing. You want to get great reviews. Then you want to get client testimonial videos and put those client testimonial videos on your website. You can also post those videos on social media and stuff. And you really want to network, right? Networking is key because in-person relationships, they're going to be like, oh, cool, that guy was cool, but like, let me look him up online. That's why I'm saying all this online stuff. It's not just online, it's networking in conjunction with the online stuff, because it's either they see you online, then they see you at the networking event, or they see you at the networking event, then they go look you up online. Then it's like, oh, cool, validation, right? Then they start seeing your signs around town at different jobs. You're like, okay, cool, another thing, another interaction, another thing, because it takes like 7 to 11 times for them to see your logo, for them to actually do business with you, right? It's going to take multiple times. If their friend tells them about you, then that's going to be even more of a juicy, like referral. That's beautiful. If they just see your sign, it's like, it's just a sign. But all those things combined, that's when you start building a beautiful picture of, how could I not go with this GC? How could I not go with this contractor? This is the guy. Especially when your client testimonials are out of this world, then you're just going to absolutely blow up. It's going to be awesome. By the way, if you want my free marketing roadmap, just go to jesselane.com, find it, and give it to you for free. The next part of this is finding A players. You can't work with D and C players. Let your A players bring your B players up to be A, but you really have to recruit, train. You shouldn't have to train them too much, but just train them on your way of doing things. Tell them your mission statement, your core values, your quarterly goals. There's so many things that go into everything in your business, like your meeting cadences and who reports to who. Just train them on how your business operates, right? Show them the software that you use. You use Structure software, right? Structure.com, check it out. But I can't stress this enough, man. You really need to hire quality people that know what they're doing. You want to hire an estimator that knows estimating. You want to hire a project manager that knows project management, a superintendent that's been a superintendent for 35 years and he knows how to do a superintendent's job. He knows how to manage the people on site. You don't necessarily have to sit there and start from scratch. And the goal is not to just hire people and fire them. And you really want to try your best to develop that core team of people that you can really build a legacy with. But, and I've experienced this, sometimes it does come down to the people that you hire that are maybe a little bit less expensive. I'll just say it at first, probably aren't the people that are going to stick with you in the long term. As far as, from 1 to 2 years, you're going to have a different crew, potentially. At least this is just my personal experience. Then you do it year 4, 5, and 6, right? And some of those people may stick for year 7, 8, 9, 10, but probably 1 or 2. At least that's just my experience. That's just how it worked for me. Maybe it's different for you, depends, but do the best you can. Hey, and one note on finding these great people is if you actually market your business really well, those people are going to start seeing your business like they do mine now, and it's like an honor to come work for J Lane Construction, So you want your business to be like, whoa, this is like an honor to come work for this company. This is so cool. Like, look at this great work they do. Look at all these Google reviews, these client testimonials, and look at their amazing website, and look how prominent they are in the community. Like when I call people, it's like, you're at a J Lane Construction. Like, yeah, J Lane, man, they're amazing. They do this, they do that. That's really how you want it to be. And so try to set your construction business up just like that. And then you'll find and recruit A players easier. Okay, so the next part is, how do you know when you're ready to scale? It's as simple as this. Are you ready? You know you're ready to scale when you've dialed in your marketing and sales enough to where you have more leads than you can handle. Your marketing is pumping. Your sales, it's like, oh my gosh, bro, I can't stop selling. If you're selling too much, you're too low on your price. If you're not selling enough, you might be a little bit high, but if you're selling about 25 to 40% ballpark of your job is probably good. But once you've really dialed that in and you're making a great net profit, you got some cash in the bank, it's time to scale, bro. let's put some gas on this junk. You know what I'm saying? The main point here, man, is like you don't want to stay stagnant for too long. The next part about this is really starting to let go, man. Like when you have that admin person or the bookkeeper and there's a process built, and you have the superintendent, there's a process built, they know exactly what to do, and you have that estimator and that project manager. You know, you really start to have these roles and you're focusing on marketing and sales, and maybe you even bring on a sales guy. Maybe you even bring on a COO to run all that stuff, right? Maybe you even hire a marketing company. It's really important to release the clench. You're clenching onto your hammer, bro, but you gotta lay the hammer down for each role. Like, oh, I just don't want to let go of estimating. Lay it down. Oh, I just don't want to let go of checking on my jobs on site. Give it to a superintendent. I just don't want to, you know, stop checking the project schedules and making sure daily logs are done and making sure the budget's good, and doing all the job project reports and making sure every change order is good. Bro, lay down the project management hammer. You know what I'm saying? Because you had to get off the tools at some point, right? And this is just that next mentality, this next level up of the process, right? So lay down the hammers for each role and delegate. Let go, bro. Let go. And the final piece of advice that I have for you in building your multi-million-dollar construction company is to find a mentor or mentors. Find someone that's done what you want to do. Find someone that's built a construction company and pick their brain. You know, find some peer groups, some mentorship. You could even pay for it. You could pay me. I have an automation blueprint program. I do weekly calls with the whole group. I do one-on-one calls. I have coaches under me that are helping really scale and systemize people's construction companies. So you could definitely check that out, my coaching at jesselane.com. It'll radically transform your whole existence as a contractor. So looking forward to have you inside Automation Blueprint. But you definitely need to find people that are ahead of you. And then let me leave you with this. The people that are behind you, pull them up. You know, this is the thing. I'm not going to be here forever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're all human, you know? Pull those people up the mountain that are behind you. Bring them up. Show them the ropes. Show them the landmines, the pitfalls, right? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to leave a legacy and help as many people as I can. That's what I leave you with. And click the like button. It really does help though. Like liking and commenting, all this stuff sounds cliche, but it actually like helps grow the channel, which helps reach more people, which is my ultimate goal, helping more people just like you. So I appreciate it. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being here. Peace.